This is a clip from Andrew Reed. He was on, I believe it's the Tech Bros podcast, talking about how the Sequoia partnership works and how founders interact with it and how they get sometimes surprised. Here we go.
Well, I hear often like, oh, Sequoia, I've heard it's really tough internally, like really sharp elbowed. The stakes are really high. It's a small team. Expectations on performance are insane.
It's a consensus investment process as well, where you don't need to just basically close you got to close, if you're an entrepreneur, you got to close all your partners, correct?
Exactly. And the partner meeting, I've seen some founders really rise to the occasion in the Sequoia partner meeting room. I've seen people just totally wilt. It's actually an amazing culture inside the building because of that. I think because the expectations are so high, the team is so small, right? I think this is one of the things that, Doug has this presentation, he calls it the laws of physics, where one of the laws of physics is that fund returns are inversely proportional to team size. And also fund returns inversely proportional to fund size. We've been very disciplined about keeping the number of people on the team and keeping the funds to a relatively stable size, and then working together to kick ass.
That rings true. Having pitched the Sequoia partnership, having them invest in one of my companies, that I ran as CEO, and spending time with them and them being an LP in my funds and me being an LP in their funds, I've got a great, deep relationship with them. It is true. The two important points there that Doug Leone, the GOAT, points out: if you have too many people, fund returns go down. If your fund size is too high, fund returns go down. Sequoia is a large organization, but they have a seed fund and, Series A. They have a growth fund. They keep the teams small, high expectation culture. And I do remember at one point going into a Sequoia meeting, I was like, hey, where's blank? And they're like, oh yeah, he wasn't invited back to the next fund.
Ooh, which is how you get fired as a venture capitalist.
No, you don't get fired. You were not invited into the next fund. So you nailed it. It's that's it. That's just the nature of the business is you do get a lot of runway, but then you might not be invited back to the next fund if you don't hit the notes that you need to hit.
Yes.
The end.
Now, Jason, on the pitching point of this, founders wilting, founders rising to the occasion, what does a Sequoia partner meeting feel like? It sounds like they're all there at once and you're pitching literally all the partners for the fund that you're looking at.
I would say big ears, small mouth is how I would describe pitching. They are not going to say a lot. You might get one or two questions from one or two people, and then they will follow up. And I think, they are looking for a certain archetypal founder. Now, a great market size, great early execution, track record, those things can play into, any of this, in terms of decision making. But, they're looking for very specific, Peter Thiel, Elon, Chad Hurley, Max Levchin, go down the line of, intense founders who are super driven. Reid Hoffman, I'm going through the logos in my mind, Steve Jobs, the Cisco founders back in the day. So they're looking for highly driven, cantankerous, chip on their shoulder, hardcore founders. And I think because they have such a high number of people applying, that they probably are okay leaving some good investments to other firms and going for the Larry and Sergey, Drew from Dropbox.
Yeah.
They're looking for really hardcore folks. And you know what? Hardcore folks also, myself, Sam Altman, probably didn't get great returns for them, but still hardcore folks who they identify, who they know have a certain amount of pride and doggedness. Yeah. They don't expect every investment to work out, but they do want, Tony Hsieh in the building, they're Alfred Lin, who's now a partner there, or Roelof was on PayPal. They're looking for hard driving, chip on the shoulder entrepreneurs.